So what happens when PRS decides to reinvent the Strat again? Is it weird or is it a hit? Hey everyone, I'm Dave with Beastmade Reviews, of course a channel dedicated to reviewing quality at different price points. Today I want to talk about the guitar that PRS made and then canceled and now remade again. Now, are you a PRS fan? I am a PRS fan. I love PRS. I grew up watching bands that played PRS guitars. I've always loved what they do, and now I'm currently on the hunt to get my own PRS guitar. I'm going through the line, trying to review them one by one, and recently they came out with this new guitar, which is a remake of an old model of guitar. This one is the PRS SE NF3. So I'm going to talk all about it, play a lot of guitar, talk all about the specs, my pros and cons. But before we do that, why don't you consider subscribing down below? If you like guitar, if you like PRS, do it for Paul Reed Smith. Do it for Paul. Consider subscribing down below. I think you really like it here. And if you like this guitar and you want to buy it, I'll have a link down below to Zounds. That is an affiliate link. Anytime you buy through that, it will help out the channel, and I always appreciate it when you do that. Thank you so much. Now, Paul Reed Smith made the original NF3 guitar back in 2011 as a core model, and they released it alongside the sister guitar, the DC3. The DC3 had more of a traditional single coil type of pickup, and the NF3 had the narrow field pickups. Recently, PRS has been reinvigorating their SE line of guitars, which is their affordable line of guitars. They've been releasing hit after hit after hit. All of them have been great, and they've been really getting a lot of accolades from the guitar community at large. And I'm just assuming that they're selling hand over fist. Now, the name NF3 comes from the pickups that they call the narrow field pickups. In this case, they're the narrow field deep dish pickups, which I always think of pizza every time I talk about that. These pickups are hum canceling like a humbucker, and they're also deeper, hence the name deep dish. The extra depth allows more windings of wire on the pickup, and they have extra metal pieces in between the magnets of the pickup as well. The result is a pickup that sounds similar to a single coil with a little bit more bass response and zero hum. But do they sound good? Do they sound like single coils? All right, now let's get to some specs of this guitar real quick. Now, the body is poplar. The neck is maple with a scarf joint. It has a wide, thin neck shape. The fretboard is maple, though they also have this in rosewood. It has a 10-inch radius, 22 frets, bird inlays, in this case they're gray. It has a 25-inch scale length, the standard for PRS. Of course, it has a bolt-on neck, a PRS branded tremolo, PRS tuners, and PRS nut. It has a narrow field deep dish S pickups. The S is for the SE line of guitars. It has a 5-way selector, master volume, and master tone, 10-gauge strings equipped on the guitar, and it comes with a PRS gig bag. What I think is cool about PRS is that he's always thinking about how to improve a design. And if they want to do a Strat style guitar, they're not trying to do the same style of Strat style guitar that's been around for 50, 60 years. They want to do something new and progress the design of the guitar further and modernize it. I think they really did that with this guitar. Obviously, it's a Strat style guitar. It looks very Strat-like. I think if you play it, it plays very similar to a Strat, but there's a couple of key distinctions here. First of all, the The pickups. The pickups, very different from a Strat. These have humbuckers in there. They sound similar to a Strat, but they're a little bit different. Strat guitars aren't always balanced, and you kind of have to go to boutique pickup winders to get more of a balanced type of set. These I find are more balanced right out of the box. The pickup selector, very intuitive, 5-way blade. You know all the pickup selections right there. There are a couple of tweaks here and there to the overall design, which I think are very interesting, and I think some people are not going to see right away. So let me go through all the pickup selections real quick so you can hear just how they sound through all the selections here. All right, now let's get to some pros and cons. And I do have some pros and cons. I'm gonna start with the cons first because I have a lot more pros here that I want to end on. So let me start with the cons. The first one are the tuners. The tuners, it took me a while to figure this out, going from SE guitars. The more that I play SE guitars, the more I realize I don't really like these tuners at all. There's a good bit of give to them. They don't feel very positive and solid. There's a good bit of give and slop to them that I really don't like. Second con here, and this one is going to be a pro and a con, depending on your perspective here, and that's the sound. I put this as a potential con because I think some people might either love it or hate it. I think this is a very good sounding guitar with a very balanced spectrum here that it offers. It doesn't sound exactly like a Strat, and it wasn't necessarily supposed to, but it's just something to consider here. But even with its overall balance, it still has a kind of Strat-like sound. Even though those narrow field pickups look like mini humbuckers, it doesn't necessarily sound like a humbucker does. So it's not going to sound chuggy. It's not going to do very modern things very particularly well. It's going to sound more like a Strat. To some people, that will be a con. And my last con here is the tuning stability. For whatever reason, this guitar had a very hard time staying in tune. Now, this is something that I could work out with a setup. It could be a couple of different things I could work through, but because this is a loaner guitar loaned to me from PRS, I'm not really at liberty to change anything. I don't want to change anything and have to send it back. But it was very frustrating to have to play and have to constantly tune and everything. It was really difficult. Was it the nut? Was it the tremolo? Was it the tuners? Was it the strings? Was it the intonation? I don't know, and I couldn't really try anything out. All right, now with that out of the way, let's get to all the pros real quick. The first pro is the finish. Now, the finish on this is stunning. It is fantastic. Now, this is an orange finish. There's a few different colors of this guitar. Orange would not be the first one that I would choose. It would probably be the blue one, the ice blue one that they have. But I'm so glad they sent me this orange one because it is absolutely incredible. It has like an orange pearl type of look to it. Video does not do it justice. You have to see it in person. It's beautiful. Also, the birds on this I find are really great. I thought it was really cool that they added gray birds on this, which I thought was a nice touch here. It's not super high contrast like black, so I thought it looked really nice here and wasn't super eye-catching, which I prefer in this case. I thought it really set off the guitar really nicely. Next pro here is just the overall quality. This is one of the nicest PRS SE guitars that I've ever played. It is absolutely spectacular. It's flawless. It plays like a dream, other than the tuning that I mentioned. It plays so well, feels great. And this is one of the best PRS guitars that I've played as well. I mean, it's just up there. Whenever I got this in my hands, it surprised me. If someone were to hand this to me and I didn't know this was an SE guitar, I would not imagine that this was a budget style guitar. This feels more like their core line. It feels great. The next pro here is the layout of the guitar. I love the way that they've changed and rearranged some of the things about the Strat. One of the things I hate about the Strat is just the overall layout. This has a very familiar Strat feel, but they just changed subtle things. I love that they have a master tone and master volume, as it should be. I love they put the jack on the bottom of the guitar, as it should be. And I love that they move the volume knob just away from your strumming hand, as it should be. So you don't hit the volume knob whenever you play. That's great. And my last pro here is the sound. Now, I am not a Strat aficionado. I have a Strat and I like it. I don't play it that much because I find the Strat is too specific. And I also find that good Strat pickups are hard to find. You have to find a boutique maker that makes a very balanced set for you to really enjoy them. You know, everyone has said it. There's only 3 good positions on a Strat: the neck and the 2 in-between positions. And that's how I feel as well. But this guitar is different. I find all the positions are great. You can find a lot of great tones out of each position. It's balanced throughout, so the bridge isn't super ear-piercing. The middle is usable, and all the other ones, of course, just are great. Of course, with zero hum, and that's a big plus there. The zero hum, always a plus with single coil pickups. And having the mini humbuckers as well gives you a little bit of a humbucker flavor as well, so you can kind of get a little bit into that humbucker range. It's not perfect, but you can kind of get in there too. But personally, I think this guitar sounds great. Overall, this is an exceptional guitar. I find that this is just a great guitar. Maybe there's things about the Strat that just turn you off, like the layout, the pickup selector, or the different sounds of the pickups, or whatever it is. I think this guitar has kind of solved some of those problems. I think this is a great guitar for those people like myself who just don't jive with Strats in general. This could be the one for you. Recently, I was talking to a friend and he asked me my thoughts about this guitar, and I said, this is one of the nicest guitars I've ever played. And that's the truth. It has such a cool sound. I love how balanced it is, and it is just perfect in the fit and the finish. It's a great guitar. But as for me, I am really thrilled about this guitar. I think PRS just did a great job with this guitar. I'm really super excited about it, and I really want to see what they come out with next, because they have been doing some bangers. Thank you again for watching. I'll see you next time. I'm Dave with Beastmade Reviews. Bye.